Welcome, everyone, to a special edition of Trades Talk. Yes, it's not Tuesday, but this was the only time I was able to get my guest on. So you are having a treat being able to be on Trades Talk on a Sunday. I'd like to welcome everybody on Rumble, Kick, and as well YouTube. Nice to see you all here. Whoopa Troopa, Angry Canadian, good to see you. And without further ado, I'd like to bring on my guest, who is a heavy duty mechanic. So we're going to hear some stories from Lady Silver, and here she is now. Welcome.
Hi, Pop. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, no problem. So I figure we might as well just get right into it then. And as you can see, we have our chatters coming in. So have you always been interested in the skilled trades?
No. Growing up and going to school, the skilled trades were never presented to me as a job option. I kind of grew up where everyone was pushing university. That's what we learned about in school. That's where you wanted to go. That's how you were going to be successful, was university. So
Okay.
that's right out of high school. That's what I did. Really didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I had to go to university and get my university degree so I could be successful.
Okay. Yeah. I do recall that as well. I know I'm a bit older than you are, actually, probably a lot older than you are, but they were pushing us into university as well. So it's like, why? What's going on here? Why was high school always pushing you into university, and they didn't present anything to do with the trades there at all? So,
No,
um,
absolutely nothing. I always heard that trades were for people not smart enough to go to university.
oh
Nobody
man,
Yeah, nobody ever told me that trades are an awesome job where you can make awesome money,
yeah.
do really rewarding work, make a difference. That was never presented at all as an option to me.
Oh, yeah, and that's the failing on the educational part of this. Not they're actually ignorant. They think they're smart, but they're ignorant about knowing about the trades. It's sad. It's there because now we have a whole generation of uh, young people that know nothing about it, and they have no skills or anything like that.
Yeah, and I think that the mentality and dialogue around it are changing. A lot of the young people that I'm talking to now are having trades and skilled programs, talked about and discussed as excellent career choices.
Oh, that's good. So,
Yeah, so
sorry, what did you get into? So you went out of high school, you went into university.
yeah,
Uh,
so I was
what did you take?
taking Bachelor of Arts. The
Okay.
original plan that my parents had kind of wanted for me and was really again the only option that had ever been discussed was becoming a teacher.
Okay. Oh, and hello, Alex Moore. Good to see you. Bonsoir, he says, speaking a little en français there. So, being a teacher, and that is something you wanted to do, or was it you were sort of being guided into that?
I was sort of being guided into it. That's what one of my parents did. That's what I saw. Neither of my parents were tradespeople or even handy people.
Okay.
I
How
never
long did
had
that
that
go for?
experience. Sorry?
Sorry. Yeah. How long did that go for? How long were you in university for?
So I spent 3 years in university, before I really decided this is not the path for me. I was not happy at all.
Okay, so you got out of there. You're like, that's it. I've had enough. I'm going elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah, it was just I felt like I was spinning my wheels. It was not the thing for me, and again, I still didn't know what I wanted. So I really needed just to take a break and figure that out myself.
Okay. Yeah. And that's good. It's good that you did. What did you get into then? Did you just go right into a job somewhere?
Yep, I went and I got a job at a bookstore.
Okay. You're must be a good lover of books then, if you like working at a
Yes,
bookstore.
yes, I love books. I was actually very happy working at the bookstore, but it did not pay well.
Well, yeah, it's a retail job. I mean, anybody that's worked retail or anybody that knows anybody that works retail knows it's long hours and low pay, and it's usually you don't even get full benefits or anything like that.
Yeah, so I was struggling a little bit there. Did that for almost 5 years, I'd say.
Okay.
And then pop, that's where you came along.
Yes, yes, yes. You and I met up, and it was I like to think I'm a facilitator where I sort of make things happen. I just give you a few suggestions on what you could possibly do.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the advice that you gave me was excellent. So, took Pop's advice and started looking just for an entry job in an industrial field. And I was able to get a job as a front end loader operator.
Now
So,
that
start
that's heavy duty right there. You're driving a front end loader, you got a big piece of machinery to operate. That's great.
Yes, yeah, and like I said, that had never been something I had thought about growing up. But, um, when I took this job and got to the site and they were sort of showing me around the site and I saw the loader and thought, that is amazing. That I want to drive that thing. That's awesome.
Yes, being enamored with the big equipment. I mean, it has I think that's everybody's when they see it, they're like, yes, I want to do that.
Yep, yeah, I was still pretty young at the time, early 20s, and I thought, man, this thing is majestic. Just want to drive it.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. So, how long did it take you to learn how to operate that thing, do you think? Like to become proficient with it?
I like that comment by Whoopa Troopa.
Oh, how do you steer that machine? How do your paws
You,
reach the pedals?
you just rub your cheek on the steering wheel and the rest takes care of itself.
Whoopa. And yes, I like to think I know how to make things happen in the business, but it's all just trying to help people. That's all. Quite the chatterbug. I try there, angry Canadian. I try.
You succeed.
Yes. So yes, how long do you think it took you to become proficient in the operation of that machine?
It wasn't too long. I actually found that I really took to that machine, that piece of equipment. I was quite slow for the first few days, but caught on pretty quickly with it.
Well, that's good. And what you were moving around garbage, right?
Yes. Yes. So I was moving garbage piles and working in a plant that processed garbage and tried to reduce some of the waste going into landfills.
So a lot of the people that hang out on this channel, they know I did work at the same facility. I called it the composting facility because it took garbage and made it into compost. And yeah, you worked there as well. You were pushing around garbage. They were taking out the stuff that's not compostable, and yeah, you would just pack it in to the drums there, and it
Yep.
would get processed.
Yeah, I took the incoming garbage and I moved it around and I put it down the chute and made dirt.
Now, were you ever there when the trucks were showing up so fast that the whole floor was filled up? Did you ever see that?
No, when I came in, they had the secondary plant next door
Oh,
and
okay.
everything was coming in via the belts.
Okay. But if you can imagine the floor that you were on, having just enough space for the loader to drive through, the piles were higher than the loader, but you had little pathways. Now that's like 800 tons of garbage on the floor. Yeah, it's was quite a sight to see. I wish you could have seen that.
I actually can't really envision that because I had seen it pretty packed just with how our process ran.
Yeah. No, this was just imagine a pathway wide enough for the loader to make it through.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of
It's
actually stunned about that.
yeah. Oh yeah. That was a bad time, boy, I'll tell you. But anyway, there you were. So you took to it pretty well. You were very excited about driving and operating this equipment, and you know, you did. When did you decide that you wanted to switch over to be a heavy duty mechanic?
That idea sort of came up from driving the loader. Um, a lot of the time, the machine was down. It was broken. It needed maintenance. And I was just always so frustrated about why are these machines broken? The good one is broken. The, kind of okay one is also broken. Now I got to drive this junk. I don't want to drive this junk. And I started thinking, rather than driving it, maybe I would like to maintain these things.
Okay, so that's how you got it, and I do remember those. One was like a Volvo, one was a John Deere, and the other one was like a Case,
Yeah, yeah. The Volvo was the good one. It had the best air conditioning,
which
the,
was important. Yeah,
which was important because it was hot in there.
yeah,
The John Deeres were okay, but if you had to drive the Case, you were in for a terrible shift. That thing was half the size of the other machines,
yep,
could move half the garbage,
yep, yep.
no air conditioning, just really not the machine you want to drive.
No. Oh, and Whoopa says 800 pounds of garbage. How many copies of The Last Jedi would that be? Probably, I don't know, 50,000.
It would be a lot.
It should be all of them, but we can only hope they get tossed in the landfill. Um, okay, so yeah, because the machine was always down in that, you were thinking to yourself, you know what? I could probably do a better job. I think, taking care of these machines is where I'd like to be.
Yes, yeah, that was really the first time I had ever thought about doing any sort of vehicle maintenance or industrial maintenance at all.
Okay. But I don't think you got to do any of that while you were there. Is that right?
No, no, I did not have the opportunity there.
Okay. So after, and I know, I know how this story ends, but after you left the composting facility, you were going to move on to another place, and I don't think it was going to be as an operating front end loader though.
No, so also while I was out at the dump, I had the opportunity to drive a couple of heavy trucks, dump trucks, semi trucks. Thought, hey, this is also pretty awesome. So I went and I got my commercial driver's license and spent a couple of years driving semi trucks.
Okay, so like long haul or just around town or
I did both. I did around town driving, I did hot shot driving for a while, and then I spent 3 months doing long haul and decided that driving trucks was really a terrible choice for me.
okay.
But again, the breakdowns and things made me think how much I just wanted to work on these machines, keep them running, keep them safe. You see a lot of really unsafe trucks, and I wanted to be able to fix those things before they were on the road unsafe.
See, and that's what something everyone should appreciate, because having unsafe semi trucks on the road is what kills a lot of people and causes a lot of accidents. And I think they need to be looked after a lot better. And I've also seen, well, there's the stories you see all the time where it's like, oh, this happened here, brakes failed. And there was a rash of accidents, about 20 years ago. I remember there was a lot of them. And, uh, you know, it was just all due to the lack of maintenance for the vehicles.
Yeah, just some really serious ones. Like, even recently, there was one quite close to where I live where a wheel came off. Not just a wheel, but the whole axle came off
Oh
of a semi.
man. Yeah, okay. You're causing lots of damage then. You're killing lots of people. I can remember the one in Ontario where, yeah, the wheel came off and it smashed into the minivan, or the one in BC where the driver lost his brakes and he was a asphalt truck and it buried this family alive in asphalt, you know?
Yeah, that one, if it's the one I'm thinking of, there were something like 14 fatalities there.
Yeah. Was it one by the ferry? Was that the one where they pushed a family into the ocean, I think, on the ferry dock.
Oh,
One of those ones
no.
too.
I was thinking
So,
about the one in the interior where they lost brakes coming down one of the mountains.
oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Once again, that's why it says on the side of the road, drivers, check your brakes, right? Because
Absolutely.
and I know that you were very thorough in your pre-trip inspections for your truck. You'd always make sure that everything was in tip-top shape because you didn't want to have that happen to you.
I actually think I upset my boss on more than one occasion over that, saying, I'm not driving this. There's a fault here, a defect here. This is not safe to be on the road. This has to be fixed.
Yeah, so in my opinion, I think we need more truck drivers like you who are like, "Hey, this isn't any good. Why should I drive this thing? Why am I going to be responsible for killing people? Get it fixed up." And it falls to the guy that owns it, stop being so cheap and just fix it. Otherwise, it's going to change people's lives forever.
Yeah, and the biggest problem I think with that industry is if your truck is down for maintenance, you're not making any money.
Yeah, that's true. And you got to spend money to make money. So and I come from a maintenance background and you know how long I've been in it and all that stuff. And I always say you gotta do maintenance. You do a little bit of maintenance, you can keep yourself running for a long time. You don't do any, then you're down and you're waiting forever.
Well, yeah, exactly. The couple of days you're gonna be down if you're hearing a funny noise from a wheel bearing, say, is a lot better than the couple of weeks you're gonna be down after you have a catastrophic failure, and if other people are involved in investigation.
Oh yeah, and that's the next thing too. I'm sure DOT is going to be like, "Oh, look at this. This thing's no good. This wasn't from the accident. This caused the accident." And then who gets the blame, you know?
Yeah,
Is
absolutely, and the blame falls every time on the driver that chose to drive the vehicle.
Okay, yeah, not the owner, which I think is the person. They've got the purse strings, they've got the money to fix the thing, but if
Yeah,
they
the
choose not
owner
to,
the owner and companies are ticketed as well, but at the end of the day, it's the driver, they say, that chose to operate.
okay. Yeah, good to know. I'm not an expert at trucking at all, but so I'm going to rely on you to keep me on the straight and narrow when it comes to talking about it. So then, so you were trucking for a while. You did your in town. You did your long haul runs, and then I guess you got to a point where you're like, you know what, that's enough.
Yeah, yeah, after doing the long haul and just being away being away from home did not work for me. I wanted to be at home and every night. So it was time to leave that job, and that was when I decided I was gonna look seriously into getting an apprenticeship and try to fix these guys.
Oh, nice. Okay. Now, okay. So what did you do for that? Like, what was what was the path for you from there?
So I applied all over the place, trucking companies, construction companies. Nobody seemed interested actually in hiring me. I had very poor success. So I started looking into automotive rather than doing heavy equipment. Maybe if I started in automotive, I could branch
Yep.
that into heavy duty down the road. And that's what I ended up doing. I took a apprenticeship as an automotive mechanic. I did a couple of years working on passenger vehicles, And then from there, I was able to take another job that, again, I started working on smaller automotive vehicles and was able to get an apprenticeship through them to do heavy.
Oh, nice. Okay, so yeah, there you go. It was sort of a sidestep or like a workaround, but you managed to go from automotive mechanic to heavy duty mechanic. So,
Yeah, it was certainly not a straight line path. There were a lot of detours and things.
and that's normal. That's what happens to a lot of people that get in the trade. Sometimes there's a little sidestep you have to take, or it's not a direct line. There will be a little bit of shifts in the pathway, but look, you stuck with it, and you finally got into heavy duty.
Yeah, it took a bit, but we got there and very, very happy that I made that move.
So now, I know you worked at the place for composting garbage. Um, Now you work on vehicles that pick up garbage.
Yes. Yes, amongst other things, one of the main things I now work on is waste vehicles.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Oh, it is.
Uh,
I can tell you they do not come in washed and cleaned.
oh no. Do you guys have to do that? Do you have to get out there and wash them and clean them if you want to work on them?
No, depending where the failure is. So if we have a problem with the garbage crushing equipment, we don't touch that. The operators know they need to wash it, and if it comes in like that, we send it right back out to get cleaned.
Oh, okay. Good,
I
good.
have had to do a couple of them myself when we weren't able to get anybody to wash them if they've been too busy, so I will do it on occasion.
Okay. Better that they do it though. They should know better.
Yeah, it's that's not my favorite job, I'll tell you that.
Oh no. So, yeah, is that what you mostly concentrate on those? Is there any other machinery that you deal with?
So I also deal with dump trucks. I work on front end loaders, skid steers, graders. I work on a range of pretty much everything. Highway tractors, trailers.
Okay, yeah, that's good. And being that we are in a northern city with winters, I'm sure you
Oh,
work on the
snow
snow
plows.
plows.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Yes, I have worked on snow plows and wing graders for sure.
Oh man. And do they send you out to make like house calls or whatever? Or do you have to ever leave the shop there to go and rescue a car or sorry, a truck or anything like that?
Yes. Yeah, we recently just got a mobile mechanic division, so now we have a dedicated team doing road service calls. But until that point, yes, I did have to go out and rescue garbage trucks or snow plows or whatever it was that broke.
Ooh. So, okay. I think we might have jumped ahead a little bit, but to dial it back a bit, your apprenticeship for heavy duty, that was how long?
That was a 4-year apprenticeship.
Okay. And schooling wasn't too bad. You were able to breeze through it pretty much. It was good for you.
Yeah, school was good. Every year we left work for 2 months and did 2 months of schooling and went back to the shop after that.
Okay. And you were compensated fairly. The employer, did they pay for your schooling, and did they they gave you a raise once you got back to work?
Yes, I was very fortunate. My employer did pay for my schooling. Not every apprentice gets that. A lot of them have to pay that cost themselves.
Okay. Yeah, I was at one, and for mine, I think the employer just laid me off, and I was just counting on employment insurance to tide me over until I got back again. So there are
Yes,
some that are good.
that's what it was like for me when I was doing the automotive apprenticeship. I got laid off, apply for EI. But the heavy company that hired me, they were very good to me. No complaints.
Oh, that's good. So there you go. Anybody listening, that's what you could look forward to. Sometimes you will have your schooling paid for by the employer, and other stuff too, pay for your books or whatever it may be. And you can look forward to, once you complete your year there or the time at school, go back, and by law they have to give you a raise.
Yes, I can't speak to what the States does, but in Canada, yes, once you complete a level of your apprenticeship, legally, you're entitled to a raise.
So that's always good, because you want to make a good living for yourself, so you want to be paid fairly. Compensation is what you're looking for.
Absolutely.
So would you say, was there a lot of women in your class?
In my first year when I went to school, there was one other woman. In my second year, there weren't any, not even in the other classes at that time.
Okay. Third
So
year?
third and fourth year, third year I had two women, and I remember the instructor saying how surprised he was that he had three women in one class. He said that was
No.
probably the most that he had had.
Okay.
And then fourth year again, I was the only one.
Huh. Well, that's all right. I mean, we do want to see more women in the trades, and hopefully, this will let them know that it's it's not that bad. It really isn't.
Yeah,
I think they get that. Sorry,
it's
go ahead.
definitely getting more prominent, seeing more women entering some of these trades. I know with heavy duty, I had a lot of people asking me, how are you going to be able to lift everything? You're not going to be able to, work on this stuff. Everything's just going to be too heavy for you. And I think that off puts a lot of people of my stature.
Yes, because I know you're quite petite, and also, um, we don't have to lift everything heavy. In fact, at a lot of job sites, they'll limit you. They'll say, "Listen, you can lift up to 49 pounds, but after that, get help or get a machine."
Yes. And where I work, we have tools for everything. If the crane doesn't reach, then we've got other picker style tools. We've got, if we're doing brake drums, we have brake dollies that you can use to lift things up. Very seldom are you ever actually lifting anything that's really heavy.
Yeah, the years of grunt work where you're just grabbing onto stuff and hoping for the best that your back holds out, I think those are coming to an end, because even for me, I'm a little older. I like to think a little smarter. I don't want to break my back or pull muscles just to get a job done. We can let the machinery do the job, and you're gonna be a lot not as what do you call it, broken when you go home.
Yeah, and where I'm at now, and in a lot of other sites where um, friends have worked, you actually will get in trouble for that kind of attitude if you're like, I'm just gonna go ahead and yard this out and get her done and tough it out. I'm a real mechanic. I don't need no cranes.
Yeah.
That is really frowned on now.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's too many people have their lives wrecked by that. Like, when they get older, oh, my knees, I can't walk. Oh, my back, I can't move. I can't bend or anything like that. Their arms, missing fingers, whatever it is. Let's not make that very common anymore. We just got to use the machinery. Don't be the He-Man. Don't get out there and try to manhandle things, because it's gonna, like Angry Canadian says, he's jealous. He's jealous because he had to lift so many things without machinery. Now that sucks.
Right, yeah, and I'm glad that that's sort of changing too now, that safety awareness and, how your body is when you retire, you're not gonna be, herniated discs, back injuries, any of that kind of stuff.
I want to be. I I'm looking down the road to retirement. I know I got about another 15 years maybe, but I don't want to be all gimped up and like hunched over and can't move or see or do anything, right? I want to be able to have my mobility still when those years come around so you can enjoy your retirement.
Absolutely. You don't want to sacrifice your health for your work.
And Whoopit says, I feel like that and I didn't even handle any machinery. Oh, I know, Whoopa. Do those stretches, buddy. So it's good to hear that there were some more women in your class and all that, and that it wasn't that bad. I like to tell people that as long as you study the books and the modules and all that and do the self tests, you're going to get through the apprenticeship. It's not that difficult, you
No,
know?
it's absolutely not designed for you to fail. It is designed for you to succeed.
Yes. And the only people I knew that did fail are ones that didn't show up to class. You don't show up, then you're going to fail.
Yes, I don't know anybody that actually failed out of school. It was the people that didn't come to class that were eventually removed from the class. You miss too many days, you're done.
Yeah, for us it was 3 days. If you're gone for three, that's it. You're done. Get out. You don't make room for somebody else.
Yes, that was like ours too, but those the guys that didn't show up were the only ones that I ever saw struggle.
Yeah, of course. It's like, why? You're given this opportunity, take full advantage of it, you know? And it doesn't necessarily have to be so financially painful because I know that there's, what do they call them? Scholarships and bursaries and stuff like that. You can apply for like companies will give like, $500 donations or whatever to students. Yeah, and you just have to apply for them.
Yes, and after completing your first year and second year, you can apply for a government grant.
Ah, yes,
Did
I did that too. Yeah.
you did that too? Yeah, your completion grants.
Yep. Yeah. It was the Canadian government gave $2,000 for after second year and then 2,000 after fourth year.
Yes, that's what I got as well.
So it was that's a good incentive. I mean, that $2,000 gets you a lot of tools.
It does, and if you're with a company that does not cover your schooling cost, the that grant just about covers your costs of schooling.
Oh, nice. No, that's good. I mean, and I tell everybody every trades talk, I tell everyone there is a wide range and variety of trades to get into. There's like 120 or 140 different trades to get into, no matter what you're interested in.
Yeah, they're definitely building trades, maintenance trades.
Yep, yep. All sorts electrical. You can get into commercial or residential or industrial, and each of them is a little different. Um, so after, so you went to school, you got your schooling done. How were the shop classes there? I know that some of the time is devoted to learning stuff in the shop. Um, what did you think of that? You were exposed to a lot of stuff you probably didn't see before.
Yes. Yeah, we spent probably half the time doing book work and then half of the time doing in-shop hands-on learning. So
Okay.
a lot of things that I don't myself do at work, it was nice to be able to see some of these things in class.
Yeah, like I can remember, and for those of you that know, I did go through my first and second year of heavy duty mechanic. I know you know that because we went at the same time.
Yes, yeah, I was in first year while you were in second.
Yeah, so I know they get into stuff right off the bat. Brakes, first most important thing to learn. Brakes, how to put them together, how to make sure they work properly. Like uh, anybody ask you what the most important thing is on a vehicle, it's the brakes. You can't stop, you can't do anything.
Yeah,
And
that would probably be number one most important thing is brakes. And like you said, that's what they teach you first year straight away is brakes.
Yep. Like Angry Canadian, $2,000, the world's biggest torque wrench. Oh,
Probably a moderate sized torque wrench from Snap-on.
yeah, from Snap-on. Yeah. I use one. It's a 3/4 drive, 600 foot-pound. Anything after that, you're using a torque multiplier. But that's about as big as I use.
I think Angry Canadian there says air brakes or disc.
Okay, so what did I for me it was air brakes, but they were drum. What about you?
Yes, anything highway tractor, waste truck, that's all air brakes. We are starting to see some now, though, on the steer axles that have discs with the air brakes.
Okay, yeah, those are I've heard of those. I haven't seen any or worked on any, but disc air brakes. That is that's supposed to stop you even quicker, I hear.
Yeah, it's different. I was a little surprised to see it, but it's definitely effective.
Yeah, anything I think that can stop these things quicker is good. They're 80,000 pounds rolling down the road. A lot of drivers got to realize these things don't stop on a dime. You cut a guy off, you're going to get plowed into, and it's not going to be pretty.
No, the truck's going to win.
Exactly. How are you going to break the air? Oh, you'll see. But yes, that's good that able to get to see things. And I like that about schooling as well, is going and seeing things that you don't get exposed to. No matter what job you're at, you're not going to get exposed to everything. But when you go to school, you can see stuff. Oh, okay, there you go. That's another thing I can, look at. And because I never got exposed to turbines at any of the jobs I've been at, but we still did look into turbines at schooling.
Right. And for me, my employer doesn't run any 18 speeds. All of our tractors are all automatics now. So the only time I've gotten to take an 18-speed transmission apart was at school.
Ah, okay. Yeah, there you go. Exposed to that. Angry Canadian says, for the big machines, do you use a universal jack or lift to raise them? Or do all the different weight classes, are there different lifts? How about that?
There are different lifts. So for highway tractors, dump trucks, waste units, we've got lifts that you can actually roll underneath the wheels of these vehicles, and you can lift the whole vehicle up and work on it just like you were working in a garage on an F-150. So these are some pretty big lifts to raise these guys up.
Wow, it sounds like it.
For things like the graders and the loaders, yes, we have a big old jack. Probably 8 times the size of one you would use on your personal vehicle.
Oh
We
yeah.
have different weight classes for stands, for jack stands to put underneath the vehicles, you bet.
Yeah, that's important. Don't just rely on the jack, right? We've all learned that hydraulics can fail. So you always throw a jack stands underneath it to keep it from crushing you. That's the number one thing. You gotta go home, all in one piece. You don't want to have a trip to the hospital.
No, you don't. That is not fun ever.
Oh yes, Angry Canadian. He is familiar with the big jacks because he was a guest on one of my very first interviews, and he's an aircraft mechanic for the military.
Oh, okay, I watched that one. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. So would you recommend recommend becoming a heavy duty mechanic?
If you're interested in figuring out why something broke, absolutely. If you want to, like for me, it was also about making sure you could find faults before they became critical. I like going through the trucks and being able to say, this is potentially going to be causing, a catastrophic failure. Let's get that fixed before she's back on the road.
That's good too. Really getting into that. And that's one of the hardest things to do. We both know troubleshooting. That is like the hardest part of the job, figuring out why something isn't working correctly and trying to catch it or catching something before it fails. That is
Yes, and
probably
I
one of the toughest things.
find that really interesting too when something comes in that has failed, finding out why it's failed, what was the cause of the failure.
That too, yes, you can troubleshoot and find out why did that fail, like what was the root cause, and you'd be surprised at what are some of the root causes of things, and you'd never expect them to do that, but it does end up causing whatever failure to happen. So
I've
the
actually got a good picture we can share to kind of
oh,
touch on that.
okay, yeah, yeah, you got a good picture. Let's see here. Is it from one of these ones
Yeah,
here?
it's that one right there.
Okay.
So
What are we looking at?
so this is out of a Cummins highway tractor that was having coolant consumption. It was going through excess coolant. So this here is a cylinder liner. And what happened was all of the little pitting that you can see right next to the number 2 there on the right are
Can you
all
zoom in?
um,
Sorry. Yeah, yeah. Can you zoom in on that at all?
do I zoom in? Let me see if I can find that picture. Bear with me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah, there you
Here we
go.
go.
Oh, yeah, we can see the pitting now. Look at that.
Yeah, yes. So that's all from little air bubbles in the coolant. But if we see the problem for the coolant being consumed is holes in the cylinder, but why? Why are there holes in the cylinder? You can't just drop a new cylinder liner in or the exact same thing is going to happen to the new
Yes,
cylinder.
exactly. Yes.
So in this case, we found that the operator had used a coolant that was not recommended by the manufacturer and didn't have
Oh,
some of the correct additives.
so once again, operator error.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fascinating. Like, just look at that. Just by putting in the wrong type of coolant, it had an adverse effect on that cylinder liner. It's amazing, and it's
So
all
this,
the operator's fault.
yeah, this one got total engine rebuild, and then it had to have a coolant flush, of course, and fill it up with the right stuff.
Yes. Yeah, and there should be a big sign that says, "Don't use that stuff anymore. Use the proper stuff." No, that's awesome. I mean, amazing that, and you guys are able to figure that out, right?
Yes. Yeah, that one was, a bit of an ugly one. But this truck was blowing a lot of white smoke.
Okay.
Absurd amounts of white smoke, so you knew that it was burning coolant somehow.
Yes. Yeah, that is something, all right. Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that the diesel engines usually have sleeves and cylinder sleeves because those are easier because they always rebuild diesel engines. You don't just go and buy a new one. They'll just pull the sleeves out, put new sleeves in, and you should be good to go, among other things. But that's one of the reasons why they have the sleeves.
Yeah, the cost is just too much to drop a new engine in every time.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Any other pictures for us? Anything else you want to hit on yet, or should we just?
What
Did you
else
have
do I
anything
have
else?
in here? That one just popped to mind immediately for me.
Okay.
Oops, are you seeing all of these screens bumping around?
Nope. Nope, we're good.
Oh, there's another actually a good cause one here too, talking about what caused the failure.
Okay.
So
See if we
we
can't.
had, whoops, there we go.
Bum, bum, bum. Can't quite see it yet.
All right, sorry, bear with me while I struggle with this.
No, that's fine. Just want to welcome everybody on the from either Rumble or Kick, and also all the YouTube regulars. We appreciate you guys tuning in today. Lady Silver is a heavy duty mechanic and going to show us some more pictures. I know you guys like pictures. You guys remember last week I was showing you how I was moving rail cars around with the loader. I think you guys got a kick out of that.
All right, here we go. So we had another unit come in with major misfire.
Yeah. You want to make that picture big?
Oops, did that work for you?
Not quite. Not quite. Just got to yeah, we can see all.
I will get the hang of this.
Oh yeah, no, I know. It's
there we go.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, yeah, if you want to zoom in on that too, show us that those look like a bunch of lifters.
Yes, so this is under this is your valve train here.
Okay.
And what we're looking at is, like you said, that's the little rocker and the little push rod. And that little ball should be sitting in that cup. That thing should not be up like that.
Okay. That's not good.
No, so that is an indication of a cylinder that is bad. Like, this cylinder is not performing it all the way it should now. It can't.
Okay. So what did you have to do for that?
So when you see something like that, then you gotta look a little further. Let me try to pull up another picture here. Oops.
No, that's okay.
Sorry, we'll get there.
Yeah. Okay, there's this one here.
There we go.
Oh.
Oh.
Are those supposed to be straight?
Those are supposed to be straight.
Oh, man.
So you can see up at the top there's the little cups.
Yeah.
That the little balls ride in, and they should be straight.
So those, and they call these push rods, is that right?
These are push rods, yes.
And they're supposed to be straight. Oh man. That's terrible.
So this is what should be opening valves. And it is not able to do that. It is not long enough anymore to work the way it should after getting bent.
Oh man. So this pushes on the valves to open them. Was the valves what was the cause, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
So for this guy, we struggle again with the pictures.
No, that's okay.
Good thing you're being patient. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah. I want to see how the story ends here.
This is a learning process. Whoops. Here it is. Okay, so that is not a terribly clear picture.
That's okay. You can zoom in on it as much as you need to. Those holes are where the push rods ride in?
No, this now, the head has been removed off of the engine, and these are two of the pistons.
Okay.
And if you look at the piston on the right,
yep,
it has a very, very minimal space gap between it and its liner.
Yeah.
The cylinder on the left has a fair-sized gap. I wish I had a pointer that I could point at this with.
Will you put your mouse on it, maybe?
Yeah, the mouse is on it, but
Oh, okay.
no such luck.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so this is the you can kind of see there the gap that I was talking
Yeah.
about
Yes. Yes.
versus here it's significantly less.
Oh, okay.
So this guy, he ended up having a bent connecting rod.
Oof.
So piston is no longer able to come up as high as it needs to create compression.
Yes.
And that's why we were having such a serious misfire on this one.
Yeah, that would do it.
And then this one we found had actually failed because it had gotten coolant into the cylinder. So when
Oh,
that piston,
no.
yeah, when that piston came up to do its compression stroke, everything bent.
Because you can't compress water.
Right.
Yes. Everybody should know that you can't compress water. It doesn't like to be compressed. And it bent the connecting rod.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
and that's a pretty big connecting rod on one of these guys.
Yes. Yeah. Oof. That's terrible. Do they know how the coolant got into the cylinder or the piston wall or the piston there?
Yeah, going a little bit further, they think that it was a failure within the exhaust system. When it
Okay.
recirculates your exhaust, coolant was getting into the exhaust and being dumped into the engine from there.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. They see you can eventually you got to be part Sherlock Holmes. You got to investigate all the clues and everything and see you can work your way back to how things got that way.
Yeah, and we see a lot of coolant related problems when operators bring their units and vehicles in saying that they're low on coolant. It's not as easy as just looking for the drips or the spills on the ground. If you're
Yes.
not seeing anything under the vehicle, it's going somewhere.
So your best bet is to be like, okay, well, this coolant's going into the engine and this thing's going to be, it's going to be back again or it's going to fail soon.
Yes, yeah, and then, there's further testing you can do from there to narrow down where the coolant could be escaping into, which part of the engine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's something, all right. Yeah, very good. Very good. You guys are able to figure that out though.
Yeah, that was an interesting one to work on.
Yeah, no, that's good. But yeah, that's a major, major job to pull an engine and take it apart. Like you guys must have a lot of shop space for that.
Yes. Yeah, our shop it's fair sized. So you can probably fit about 18 highway tractors in our shop.
Ooh, there you go. That's good though. That's good. I mean, you guys obviously are busy. You have a lot of big fleet of vehicles to deal with.
Yes, yep, big fleet and a lot of maintenance and preventative things that we do as well as breakdown maintenance.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of breakdown maintenance, like waiting for stuff to break or dealing with it when it breaks. I like to catch it beforehand. If we can do that, I'm a big fan of that. Preventative maintenance, sometimes even predictive maintenance, which anybody that doesn't know predictive maintenance is if you count out the hours. So you're like, okay, I've installed this bearing and in 4,000 hours, I'm going to change it again. Doesn't matter if it's broken or not. So that's where you get to in maintenance.
Yeah, that's like a lot of long haul highway tractor truck drivers will do a midlife engine rebuild. The engine's hasn't failed yet, it's not dead yet, but if you rebuild it, about its midlife, then you're not going to get a catastrophic failure.
Yeah, get ahead of it and do yourself a favor and be like, oh, I'm going to do it right now while things are still okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a rebuild now instead of I've seen, when an engine's failed, its connecting rods come out the side of the block. Now you're looking at 3 times the cost because your entire engine is ruined. There's no fixing that.
Yep, there is no coming back from that. Just like Angry Canadian says, preventative maintenance is great. Yeah, it is. You have to have a company and a manager that is willing to do that sort of thing rather than just, oh, it's okay, just let it go. Like
Yeah, I've
they
heard
have
a
to
lot
be.
of horror stories, and I'm very glad I don't work for somebody that's happy turning a blind eye to things.
Yeah, I mean, where I'm at, it's the not only am I held accountable, but so's the manager. They're held accountable. It's like, well, why did you let this thing fail? Why did you do this? And the manager just can't point to me because I'll just point right back at him and say, you didn't authorize the payment for this. So you didn't want to pay for it. So who is it? Is it my fault? I wanted to fix it, but you didn't want to pay for it. So then they look like an idiot.
Yeah, where I'm at, if you find anything brake or steering related, it's never a question.
That's good. Like we said before, brakes. Brakes are most important for the
Brakes are most
vehicles.
important.
Brakes are most important. Yep, exactly. So yeah, so you're happy where you're at now. You're finally, you're a journeyman. You've made it. And are you looking into anything else going forward as far as your training, or would you like to dabble in something else to add more skills? I always tell the people on this channel here that if you can train yourself or get trained up in multiple skills, you'll make yourself more marketable for the job.
I would really like to become more proficient with welding, actually.
Okay, that's not a bad apprenticeship, and really, yeah, it's just a matter of getting in there, the hands on, and learning which way to hold your electrode, and and which one to use for which material, and setting your settings are what's really important. You set your welding machine up,
I think though, in terms of what would be useful, the other thing I would consider is doing an electrical apprenticeship. With all of
Okay.
the electric vehicles up and coming now, there's gonna be a big demand for that, for dual ticketed.
Oh, that's a good point. And for those that don't know, a lot of companies will give you a premium if you have like dual tickets. But yes,
I
electrical. That's
have a
good.
couple of
Sorry.
friends that work up, in northern Alberta in the oil sands,
Yep.
and that's what, they look for. If you're dual ticketed, heavy duty, and electrician, like, you're gold to them.
Oh, wow. That's
Those
a weird
machines.
combination.
Yeah, but those big old electro hulls, they're all electric vehicles.
Yes, they are. Well, diesel electric, aren't they?
Yes, yes, so you need to be able to do both systems.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, the earth haulers, the ones that are as big as a house. They just run their diesel engines to a generator, which runs the electric. Each wheel. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe each wheel has its own electric motor.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and that is amazing. You're generating so much power just to run that truck. Like, I would
So
love to drive one.
yeah, those things are pretty. I haven't had the chance to drive one, but like you said, it looks like it would be like driving a house.
But yeah, that's a good combination. So you heard it here first, everybody. Because of all the electric vehicles, you're going to need more people that know electrical, such as electricians. They might even classify them as strictly automotive tech electricians or something like that. I do know that those batteries in the cars are quite high voltage. So you have to be extremely careful. It's not just 12 volt, 24 volt. It's you're getting into the high voltage stuff, the high amperage stuff.
Oh yeah, those electric cars, even hybrids, those things have amperage to kill you.
Oh yes. Yeah. But that's a good combination then. Heavy duty mechanic / electrician.
Yes. So like I was saying about the northern oil sands, they'll have a heavy mechanic and an electrician. It takes 2 tradespeople to do a lot of the work on these machines. And if you're dual ticketed, you're twice as valuable to them.
And they're willing to pay to keep you around. So I'm assuming
Oh
the
yeah,
pay is
absolutely.
excellent. That sounds great. I mean, there you go, people. Opportunity knocks at your door. Pretty sure they're going to want to get rid of all the diesel engines and replace them with electric.
I've
We'll
heard
see how
talk
that
too
goes.
about hydrogen engines.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I think I like that. It doesn't take much for your internal combustion engine to run on hydrogen. It's just being able to supply a steady source of it. And the byproduct is water. So what could be better than that? All right. Do you have any more pictures for us?
Let's see, I've got another one here I can bring up. So again, bear with me.
Yeah, not a problem. I hope everyone's having a good Sunday today. Relaxing day. For us, it was quite warm here. And, it's another work day tomorrow. Oh, what's this?
Oh, so this is why you're supposed to watch what you put in the trash when the garbage truck comes to collect.
Okay.
So this is a cylinder out of a garbage crushing mechanism. And somebody threw out just this, I don't even know what it was, big old piece of furniture or something, but it got caught up where in behind the crusher. And as this thing is retracting, it bent.
Wow. And how long, like, it's hard to tell scale on that in the picture, but how long is that thing?
The barrel, so not the silver rod coming out of the end, but the barrel itself is probably close to 6 feet.
Oof, that is huge. 6-foot long cylinder. What's the diameter on that thing?
I can't fit both of my hands around it.
Okay. So we're going to talking like a 3-inch, 4-inch cylinder, and it bent it.
It bent it, yeah.
Oy.
Oh.
We connecting? We there? We good? Okay. Sorry, ladies. Okay, are we good now? We good now? Sorry, Lady Silver. The restream was giving me a hard time.
I'm here.
There we go. Yeah, and the picture of there. There we go. Back to it. Phew.
Success.
I swear sometimes Restream gives me a hard time. Angry Canadian says hydrogen engine. I know a certain video game with trucks running off of that. Oh, which one's that? Oh, and Kitty Bear. How you doing, Kitty Bear? Not only people need to watch what they throw away, also the garbage truck driver needs to be keep an eye on how much weight they are transporting. Yeah, I guess so.
100%. If they see something that should not be in there, don't pick that thing up.
Yes.
We've had to
Yeah.
deal with, a lot of packer jams and things just from inappropriate material being thrown away.
Yeah. Watch what you throw in the garbage. Sort it out, do your recycling. But not everything has to get tossed in your household garbage. Take it to an eco center or whatever you have to take it to dispose of it properly. Otherwise, things like this happen. You get a bent cylinder, and now the garbage truck is down. It can't do its job. It's got to be replaced.
Yeah, and my favorite part about this is we can't even unload the truck before fixing it.
Oh, it's still full of garbage.
Yeah, so you're working on a stinky boy now.
Ooh. Look at that. Look at what happened there. So whoever threw that out, I hope you're happy. But yeah, that's amazing. Kitty Bear says the scariest thing you ever had happen in a garbage truck was it doing a wheelie uphill? Too much load pushed too far back.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would freak me out. So you're pretty happy. You've achieved your goal then. Your goal was to be a heavy duty mechanic. You've achieved that goal.
Yes, yeah, I would say that I've achieved that one.
Mission accomplished. Well, good on you. Like I say, anybody that can, and you've made the jump. And I tell your story to people quite frequently because they're like, oh, I can't do that. And like, look, I know someone who went from retail to industrial. They made that jump. And I don't think it was that hard on you. You correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think you made the jump from retail to industrial quite well.
Yeah, and like I had said earlier, it wasn't anything that I had ever been exposed to or had seen. I had no idea that I would love being a mechanic so much because I had never had the opportunity to, work on engines or drive any machines.
Yeah, and that's something that once again falls to the educational system. They have to let the younger generation know what's out there. Like
Yeah.
here, there's all
All of
these trades.
the, like, career day things that I did when I was in high school were all geared towards what university program you're going to take. Whereas
Okay.
now, I've participated in a couple of career day programs for high school students now where, I come and I promote trades, and we actually let these kids get to sit in, some of the equipment, take apart a little pump, get to do some actual hands-on things.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, right on. I mean, I'd love to do that too if I could find the time. I mean, I do work 5 days a week, but being able to, wouldn't mind stepping out and going to a career day and be like, hey, this is what it means to be, a millwright, and this is what you do expect. Or they could just tune into my YouTube channel and find out too. Shameless plug.
Shameless.
Hey, DJ Ronnie G. It's always good to see you around, DJ Ronnie G, our resident tech expert. But yeah, do you have any advice for people that are looking to get into the trades? What would you say to them if they're like, hey, I want to go into the trades?
Ask lots of questions, honestly. Don't ever be afraid asking questions. If you're starting out, I've seen a lot of, young beginning apprentices scared to ask for help. They don't want to feel dumb. You're never going to feel dumb. Ask lots, learn lots. Just go for it, really. Like I said, I needed the push from Pop to really get me into it.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, speaking as a journeyman who's had an apprentice or two, I don't mind answering any questions they have because it keeps me sharp and it makes it because if I can explain it, then I'm learning as well. When you can do something, that's fine, but when you can explain to do something, that's even better. You're both learning. And you can learn from apprentices as well. Sometimes they'll come up with things you haven't thought of before. But I think we're past the time where the journeyman should be like, or the journeymans are going to be a bunch of jerks and treat you like trash. I'd hope we're past that part now.
Yeah, I really
You know.
like to think we are. We still have, a couple of guys that think that way.
Oh
But,
yeah.
they think, well, this is how I learn. This is how everyone should learn. No, like, I don't care how silly your question is or what mistake was made. Like, I'm here as a journeyman to help teach you and help you learn. I learned so much from all of my mistakes. And I'm
Oh, exactly.
certainly not gonna shame somebody new making the same mistakes I did.
Well, that's how you grow. I mean, you're going to grow. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to do it. Like you're not going to be perfect. You're going to try to be, but you're not going to be. I've had my fair share of things where it's like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that.
Oh,
But you
yeah.
learn from it. You go, okay, well, I won't do that again. And then the next time same thing pops up, you're like, okay, I know not to do that anymore. DJ Ronnie G says, taking things apart hands on is a very helpful way to learn. Yes, it is. A lot of people are hands on.
100%.
Yeah. Kitty Bear, my dad started as an electrician in construction when you were born. He became an electrician working tour buses. When you became an electrician, he worked as an electrician on garbage trucks. Oh, there you go. More garbage trucks.
Those
And
things are interesting.
hey, Nico, nice to see you. You've always been monkey see, monkey do, and monkey improve. Myself, there you go. Well said. Yes. So always try to learn from your mistakes. You are going to make them. And don't be afraid to ask questions. That's what the journeyman's for. You're an apprentice. You go and ask the journeyman, and they should be able to explain things to you.
Yeah, and
You
that
know,
is absolutely advice I would give to anybody coming up in the trade is if you don't understand something, ask. If you think you made a mistake, get help.
yes. And the thing that, for me personally, what's going to make me upset is if the apprentice just goes in off and does whatever they feel they want, and they think, and then they screw up. It's like, why didn't you ask me? Now look what you've done. You've wrecked this thing. You should have asked. That makes me more upset than you just coming and asking me. I'll tell
Right.
you.
Right. But now the damage is done, so let's fix it
Let's fix
and
it.
not make this mistake again.
Yeah, exactly. You love the positive vibes there, Nico. Sure, that's where we're at here. It's being in the trades should be a positive experience. You shouldn't. I know there's going to be people out there, different personalities or whatever you're going to run into, but those guys are slowly retiring and leaving the trade. So you're going to run into the next generation, which is myself and Lady Silver. We're both a journeyman in our respective trades, and we know we have to bring along the generation after us that is going to learn and take our place, because there is a shortage. I don't know if you've noticed that or not, Lady Silver, whether there is a shortage of tradespeople out there.
Yes, yeah, we've seen that where I'm at. We've had trouble filling positions.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, that's exactly. And anybody that watches my channel knows that I really harp on the fact that there is a shortage and people should try to get into the skilled trades to help fill those gaps because you will be in demand. It is really weird having companies come after you and be like, "Hey, we would like you to work for us." It never happened before. It's unprecedented, but it is happening because of the shortage. So I know a few guys that have been getting emails from companies being like, "Hey, how'd you like to work for us? How'd you like to work for us?" And
Yeah, we've
they are
got a
considering it.
couple at, my shop too that I've heard have been getting that.
So there you go. The shortage is here, and it's ripe for the taking because uh, companies will get desperate and they will start forking out the dough. You will start making real good money real fast, and they won't want to let you go either. Kitty Bear says, "You never learn from one mistake. Do not touch live wires. As an electrician, had this weird addiction. You must touch it." Okay, then. Yeah, that's shocking.
Oh, I shouldn't laugh, but I had that exact moment probably a year ago. I
Oh,
was changing a light bulb in my basement, and I just happened to brush the socket, and I was like, "Oh, did I just get shocked? Did that actually happen?" So I had to stick my finger back in the socket and confirm that, yes, it actually did happen.
oh, oh no. Oh, look at you, journeyman, sticking your finger in a socket.
I know, it was a terrible decision.
Oh, well, at least you're still alive. Uh, DJ Ronnie G says that's gangsta. Oh, all right. Have you got anything else to show us here for any pictures that are, from things that have happened on the job?
I've got a little electrical one here that I can pull up.
Okay. Let's see. Once you pull that up, I think I'll try to find something that'll bring back some memories for you as well.
Right on. Okay, that should be up.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Have a look at that. Oh,
Oh,
what is this? What are we looking at here?
that is an electrical distribution box at the back of a snowplow.
Okay.
So this thing was having some lighting issues. Strobes, LEDs weren't working that great, flickering, not coming on, intermittent. And all of that green stuff is the corrosion.
Oh man. Yeah, I can see that. That's a lot of corrosion.
Yeah, we
Did
call that the
water get in
fuzzy green monster. Yeah, this box, it had a bad seal on it, so it had been gotten quite a bit of water in it.
there? Okay. Man, oh man. So what did you do? What did you have to do for that? Did you just go in there and put in some, I don't know, acid or something to clean it out, or what'd you do
So
for that?
this one, the corrosion was so bad, so heavy, the box had to be replaced.
Oh, that's crazy. Wow.
So yeah, rewire it and replace the box.
So you had to cut all the wires and had to put any like terminals on them and refeed them into a new box?
Yeah, new terminals, then just like you said, refeed them into the box, reconnect them.
Okay.
Everything worked great after that.
That's good. DJ Ronnie G has a question here. Does that type of corrosion occur at an accelerated rate due to the electrical current? That's a good question.
I've never actually thought about that.
Darn. We need an electrician to help us out with that one, DJ Ronnie G. I'm not an expert when it comes to I would think maybe it would accelerate it with the electrical current running through it.
Yeah, I imagine it would, because that one connection that's really bad there
Yeah.
was for the lighting functions that's run all the time.
Okay. So yeah, okay, yeah, that looks the worst of all, and that always has power on it, eh?
Yes, that one is always
Okay.
running.
So I think you made a good assumption there, DJ Ronnie G. It might accelerate it. Yeah, that looks terrible. What Kitty Bear says, I was the reason in school why many of the classmates had a low grade on their practical tests because the teacher inspected their stuff. I would short circuit mine using my fingers. Yikes. DJ Ranji, you have a theory because you often see green corrosion in water damaged electronics. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that stuff is wicked bad.
Yeah, and Kitty Bear says salty water will make it go faster. Yeah, okay. That's like electrolyte, I believe, if it's got like salt in it. Things that weren't exposed to liquid for long. We'll investigate further. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I see you have another picture for us.
Yeah, one more picture
Oh.
there.
You want to zoom in on that?
You bet. That last one was a real, very obvious right away what was going on with oops, is that zooming in? What was going on with the electrical?
Yeah, it's not zooming in yet.
There
There we go. There we go. Yeah.
This one is an example of you can spend hours tracing down that one connector that's burnt out and just not making good contact. You can see that one there on the left.
Yeah, yeah.
Versus the one on the right, how it should look.
Oh, it just blew the back of it right out of it.
And just the littlest burn in it, can shut down a whole system.
Oh man, and you had to find that.
Yeah, so when people, ask about being a heavy mechanic and, well, you're small, all the heavy lifting, a lot of it is looking for stuff like this.
Oh, sometimes that's the needle in the haystack. You have to really knuckle down and like be determined to search. That's amazing. You could overlook that like 100 times and not find it.
Yeah.
DJ Ronnie G also says galvanic corrosion. Yes, I'm familiar with galvanic reaction. It is two dissimilar metals that are touching one another, and you get that reaction.
I don't like that reaction.
Not a lot of us do, no. But yeah, that is amazing that you found that.
There's been some real ugly electrical nightmares.
I find that you have to specialize in that, I would think, when you're working on vehicles and all that. I think they even specialize like automotive electrical. Like that's all you deal with.
Yes, yeah. We've got some guys, fantastic mechanics, but just struggle with electrical.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Like DJ Ronnie G says, let's have a moment of silence for sacrificial anodes on boats. They do their job.
They have an important job.
Yes. Did you know we had sacrificial anodes at the composter?
I did not.
Inside the drums, the drum digesters, they had, what were they now? 5 inches? No, probably 4 inches wide by 2 feet long sacrificial anodes.
I had no idea. That is really interesting.
Yeah, they were made of pure silver, or not silver, pure zinc. They were made of zinc, and that would sacrifice themselves instead of the outer shell of the drum digester. So yeah, it was quite neat when I saw those. So I've got a video for you actually, and I think you'll appreciate this. Just go like this, and go like this, and go like that. Let's see. Hopefully I can share. Let's see. There we go. Nope, that's not it. This one. This one. No.
Oh, Kitty Bear's got some sound advice there.
Oh, what's this? Your practical teacher in the first lesson said, never work on wires while the wires are live. And when there is no other options, wear gloves and use insulated tools. Yes.
100%.
100% insulated. Any electrician I know will always use insulated tools, insulated gloves, because they don't want to die. It's just that simple. Even if you think it's dead, you pretend that it's alive. Circuit. Just try and get this guy. I'll try again here to see if I can. There we go. Can you guys hear this when I play it? Let's have a listen here. Could you hear that or no? No sound?
I didn't get sound. No.
Okay. That's all right. We don't need that much sound. But does that look familiar to you?
Is that what I think it is?
Yep. That is the old building where they would aerate the compost.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they are. This was years ago, but they're tearing it down.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's how they do it now. They just come by with an excavator and they pull out the supports, and the building just quietly
let her fall.
Falls down. Yes.
That's never been rebuilt, has it? I think that's just empty space.
Just a big concrete pad now. And I got one more for you here. I knew you'd appreciate that. And
so many memories there.
Oh, yes. Just turn that down a bit. Just share this here. There we go. So I have to keep my distance, obviously, because, it's an area where they're tearing stuff down. But just this is how he's doing it. So he's going in there and he's just pushing on the supports as he works his way along.
Did they just have the one excavator tearing that whole thing down?
I think so. And yeah, he's just going along there and he's just pushing it in.
Oh, I'm glad you shared those.
Fun stuff, eh? Yeah. And all of that from a wrinkle in the roof. That was all it was. They had a wrinkle in the roof and they're like, oh, we have to tear it down. So pretty crazy. What we got here? Kitty Bear, next lesson I had an electrical engine that didn't work. A teacher took a look and what was wrong? Picks up a metal screwdriver and tries to loosen a screw and gets shocked. His first lesson. And then I get banned from class for 2 weeks. Oh, man. Good stuff.
I think you were right in calling him out. Safety first.
That's right. Safety first. Remember that no matter what job you do. What's going to be recycled from that teardown? Nico asks. Well, they went through, and because the building, it was the largest stainless steel building in North America. So they wanted to sort out the concrete, which was done, and they sorted out the stainless from the carbon steel. So they had a magnet, like an excavator with a magnet on the end, and it would pick up the carbon steel stuff and separate out the stainless. And they did it all. And anything that was like insulation would go into the garbage and everything like that. So they did quite a good job of separating everything out. And yes, it was the largest stainless steel building. And it had to be because it was 85% humidity in there and high temperature, like 30 degrees Celsius. So it was very, very, and you can attest to that too, Lady Silver. It was very uncomfortable to walk around in there.
That was such an ugly building to work in. Just such a miserable building.
Yes. Yeah, it was. And I've talked to a few people on the show that had worked there, and some of them didn't get to experience what you and I got to experience. So
They
they missed out.
after that?
They came after that, yes. Like I had CCD on here. She was on a while back, and yeah, she had come later.
Okay.
She was actually my apprentice for a while, so it was a pleasure to have her as an apprentice.
Yeah, I will never forget shoveling compost off of a conveyor in the middle of the night where you couldn't fit a machine, and it was like 45 degrees in there.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah, I can remember that too. I would
Awful. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, or getting called in to change some shear bolts on one of the augers, and yeah, I'm up. It's dead air. There's no air movement. I'm up in the air about 20 feet, and it's so hot, and I'm feeling nauseous. And that's never happened to me before. I was feeling nauseous. I'm like, oh, I got to go down and get some air, water, whatever, because that was one of the worst.
And your respirator is just filling up with face sweat. It is
Yeah.
so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Safety first, always, unless safety won't save you anyways, in your opinion. Well, there's always and I don't know if you guys have it, but there's legislated law that we have a right to refuse unsafe work with no repercussions.
Yes,
So
correct.
that is a big thing in Canada. The right to refuse unsafe work. All right. Kitty Bear says he had a huge fine for not wearing a safety hat on top of a building. The hat would have saved me from huge blocks of concrete going over my head and if falling on my head every time. Well, the first thing is never put yourself under a load. That's the one thing. Don't ever do that. It doesn't matter what it is. And yeah, always keep clear.
I didn't know you could get a fine on site for not wearing a hard hat.
I think Kitty Bear is from Europe, so the things might be a little different there.
Okay, I did have a friend get fined when she was trucking for not putting an outrigger out far enough.
Oh,
But that was
ouch.
a DOT fine.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of things to deal with. When you're a truck driver, you've got a lot of things to watch out for. You got to take care of your logbook. You got to make sure that's in proper order. You got to watch out for DOT because they're always out to make sure you're all, doing things safely. Every scale you stop at, you can't just blow through them. It's There's other. I'm sure there's other stuff too. I haven't even thought of, but you would know better than me.
Oh yeah, there's tons of it. Like so many different rules and regulation to keep up on.
Like tying down your load. I know
Yes.
that's they're sticky for that too. I know
Yeah.
that.
Load securement, how many hours you've been driving for.
Yeah, and what is it now? What is it? 13? Is it only
13.
13?
Yes.
Okay. So then after that, you got to pull over and take your
Time
8
to
hours
sleep.
of
Yep.
rest.
You betcha. Shut her down.
That's right. I know a lot of truckers won't do that, but it's like, listen, it's there for a reason. Do you want to, do you want to run over a family just because you're tired? That's what I don't get. They got to think of things like that. Even the average person that's like texting while they're driving, like, do you want to be responsible for, wiping out somebody's life just because you're sending a text to somebody? That's something that you got to live with the rest of your life. So um, just don't do it. Just think of it. Just be like, you can answer it later. Don't worry about it. To bend down was annoying. Yeah. Kitty Bear says safety inspections happen here often and you get fines. I know they'll do that here too. I know OSHA will come by and they'll do an inspection or whatever they want to do. And yeah, the employees can get a fine, the workers, and the managers get fined too. And their fines are usually bigger.
Interesting.
Oh, hey, Veritax, you just found us? That's all right. Yeah, it's usually on Tuesdays, but Lady Silver could only get in today, so it's an impromptu trades talk, which is something I hold very important. It's got to get the word out to the younger generation that they got to hop into the trades, and it'll be something they can take with them for the rest of their lives, and make a good living at it, comfortable. You're not going to be struggling and starving. You're going to make a good life for yourself. Remember the trucker who got 150 years? I don't. Have you ever heard of that, Lady Silvercat or Lady Silver? Sorry.
Oh, you used my full name.
Yeah. My bad.
No, I don't remember that one. Like, there's a few that do really stand out to me, but nothing that was that heavy.
Yeah. Oh, and Veritax, you're trying to encourage your eldest to consider trades. I think he'd get a lot of enjoyment from it. Well, you know what? Ask him to stop by the stream sometime. I've done 40 of these, so if he wants to know what it's like or how to pick one, like I go through how to pick it, like how to get into them, what to expect, what the pay is going to be like, depending. It varies from state to state, obviously, province to province. I think millwrights that's my trade in BC earn a little less just because of the population density there. We earn a little more out here living in the prairies, but it's all good. You can send them on over. I'll talk to them. And Kitty Bear, in your country, you're making a good living doing nothing at all. Look at that. How long have I been in the trades? Over 25 years. I got my, what do you call it? I went for my pre-apprenticeship in 1992. I graduated from there in 1994, and I started my first year apprenticeship in 1996. So yes, I've been in trades for quite a few years. And what about you, Lady Silver? How long have you been in the trades? Let's give the guys a general idea.
Been probably about 8 years now for me.
Okay.
No, it's been longer than that. Never mind. It's got to be closer to 10.
Okay. Yeah. That's great. That's great. I mean, the elusive experience, the elusive job experience that companies always look for. You
Yeah, I've
know,
been with
you're
my current job for 7 years, and then I was doing the automotive before that, so it's been about 10 years.
very good. Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, you've still got lots to see, I'm sure. Still got lots to learn. A lot of people don't get it that even though it says that you're a journeyman on your ticket, you're still learning stuff too. But management,
Absolutely, every day
oh yeah,
you learn
management just
something.
doesn't get that. They always think, oh well, you're the journeyman, you should know. It's like, well, I don't know everything. I know where to find it, find the information, but I don't know everything.
I mean, in my field too, there's such a variety of machines and equipment. If you put me on a bulldozer and asked me to change its tracks, I would not know where to start. I would need to find a manual or talk to another journeyman with some experience.
Oh, exactly. You can specialize, especially like you say in yours. There's probably people that specialize in bulldozers and construction equipment. Other people are on road, or other people are off road.
Yeah,
Sometimes they just are happy
absolutely.
just being a trailer mechanic. You know.
Yeah, there's definitely different specializations, and somebody might have tons of knowledge with bulldozers and not know where to start with a garbage truck. There's just so many different things.
You can specialize in my trade as well. You can be strictly a air compressor guy, like pneumatics. You can do hydraulics. You can specialize in that. And maybe you won't ever see like a conveyor belt or anything like that, but there are people that specialize in conveyor belts. So that it's all depending on what you want to do. Do you want to be like exposed to a lot of things, or you can concentrate on just one? There is no end to what you can do out there, you know. Nico just looked it up. He says it was a Colorado trucker with 4 dead on brake failure. Got 110 years initially, but was reduced to 10 years later.
There we go
Oof.
again with brakes. We were
Yeah.
talking about brakes.
Most important thing. Yeah, exactly. Kitty Bear, you're working now. You work when you sleep. Being legally insane is a hard job to work 24/7 the whole year. But to be honest, you wish you could work in the construction. It was more fun. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like building things from scratch, and a lot of people there's like building from scratch, and then there's like maintenance jobs. I like being a maintenance mechanic because things are established. I don't have to go in and build things from scratch, like buildings and all that. Veritax says your father transitioned from white collar engineer role to an industrial chemical operator. Got to learn to drive one of your favorites, the forklift. Made a good living till retirement. Well, there you go. That's actually something I've never heard of before, where you go from a white collar engineer role to a industrial operator. That's excellent. Good for him. And if it's something he wanted to do or because he liked it, that's even better. I always wonder about these engineers that they hire to like run things and all that. It's like just because you're an engineer doesn't make you a good manager. You know, there's plenty of managers that are great at their jobs, but they're not engineers. So a lot of these companies have to get it out of their heads to always hire people that are engineers. I don't know if you've experienced that at all.
Yes, yeah, there's definitely. Sorry, I'm just finding my words here.
That's okay. That's all right.
The cat is misbehaving behind me.
The irony, he was operating at the plant he started as an engineer at the beginning of his career, just a different owner. Okay. No, I definitely want to. I definitely want to branch out and hopefully get a few more people on for interviews. I really love hearing about other people's journeys in the trades. You know, yours is very fascinating. Like I say, I use your story as an example to people about how you can make the jump. It's not that difficult, really. It's just a matter of just doing it, you know?
Yeah, it really wasn't a hard transition.
No, because all you did was you just pretty much put in a resume or an application and they called you in. And even if you didn't have any experience, they're like, that's okay. You're going to start at the bottom and work you along.
Yeah,
I think
that's exactly what it was, got an entry-level position, you start at the bottom, and they kinda taught you everything that you needed for your job, and with me, when I showed so much interest in the loader, then they moved me into that direction.
yeah, that's good. They were very accommodating to make you an operator,
Mhm.
and you were living your dream at the time of operating this big machinery. Which is obviously that's another trade you can get into. You can just be equipment operator. Um, they'll teach you that too. I'm pretty sure at any of your vocational or trade schools in any of your areas. And I'll go over that as well on some of the streams. Is where is the closest vocational school to you and what they offer, and do they do a good job? Do they have a high rate of success for their graduates? That's the thing too. When I was going to school, there was only two choices. You went to BCIT or you went to Kwantlen College, and I went to Kwantlen because it was closer. But they had a better, even though BCIT got all the accolades. I believe that Kwantlen got better uh, instructor to student interaction for learning. Well, it looks like we're coming up on the almost 2 hours here, Lady Silver. I think we can start wrapping her up here, if that's all right with you.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna have to go and take care of the cats here. Like I said, they're getting ready for supper time.
Yeah, it's probably supper time for them. There you go. That's why they're bothering you.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, you
Okay.
know what they're like.
Yeah, I sure do. Unruly.
Well, thank you very much for having me on today.
Yeah, it was great. We got to do this again sometime. Bring some more people on. We can all talk trades. It's very fun. I'm still looking to get myself a welder to have on. People from other different trades out there. I'd really like to hear from. If you guys in the chat could help me out too, spread the word. Let people know that I come on and do interviews for the trades. I want to hear about people's journeys through the trades, and hopefully we can inspire more people to get into them, because we need you out there. We really do. It's there is demand. The shortage is real. I mean, and you can do very well. Um, so yeah. What's okay? So coming up on Tuesday, I will still have my regular Trades Talk Tuesday. I don't have an interview set up or anything like that, but I'll still go through the ins and outs of being in the trades, what to expect, and I have some of my own pictures to throw up on screen for everyone to watch. I'd just like to thank everyone that came out today. Veritax, Whoopa Troopa, Alex Moore, Angry Canadian. It was good to see you guys. Kitty Bear, DJ Ronnie G, Nico, all you guys. It was great to have you by. Really appreciate that. Like I said, it was a fun stream. There's other good channels out there too, like Pacific 1414 and Blaine's Escape Corner, Ronin 66, DJ Ronnie G, Brandon the Anime Guy, Nerdporeal Lifeform, Angry Canadian. There's our own Whoopa Troopa. He's got his own channel, and Punkwaddle. I've got a Discord out there. It's called The Shop, because that's where all the tradesmen hang out. We hang out at the shop. So after this Tuesday, Saturday is game day for me. I played in some Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, so come on out. watch me play that game. It's getting really good. I got 2 more bean stars to find, so I got to just plug away through that. And then Sunday is always anime chat. So join me in the morning. The theme for this month coming up in August is World War II. So we'll have a look at some World War II anime. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. Tuesday's your Friday, DJ Ronnie G. Not a problem. And stupid YouTube is blocking your chats again. It's trying to list the jobs you had, and YouTube just blocked it. I know. What is up with YouTube? I don't get it. I'm getting a little bit sick and tired of those guys. But that's also why I'm broadcasting over on Rumble and Kick, just to cover my bases and hopefully get myself a larger audience so that they can hear about the skilled trades. Any final words, Lady Silver? Anything you'd like to say about the trades to anybody out there? No?
No, you know what? I think we just about covered everything that I wanted to say. Again, it's something I hadn't considered, but found I really enjoyed. I love taking broken things and being able to fix them.
Nice. That's the difference between me and you. Actually, there isn't much of a difference, except Millwright does stationary equipment and a heavy duty mechanic does mobile equipment. So our jobs overlap quite a bit, except for the fact that I do stationary machinery.
Yeah, my things move and yours don't.
Exactly.
But so much of it is so similar.
Yeah. All right. So I just want to thank everybody as we go through the list of Kitty Bear's jobs. He's been a garbage man, a chicken fryer, a driver, translator, showroom furniture installer at all at once, a gardener, factory worker, cleaner, all while I was studying for electrician. Look at that. Man, oh man, lots of jobs. Through after 23 blocks. Crazy. YouTube can just knock it off. All right, everyone. I appreciate you coming out. I had a fun time. I hope you did too. I want to thank my guest, Lady Silver. It was great having you on. I hope to have you on in the future.
Thanks again, Pop, for having me. It was fun to be here.
Yeah, right on. All right, everyone. Until then, this is Pop, and I am signing off.